Hi, Greg Jarrett, and you are in the strategy room. Hillary Clinton's decision to jump into the 2016 race is stirring up the age-old question, will the U.S. elect its first female president? Some pundits say that Clinton this go-around is more likely to play up the fact that she would make history if elected, while others contend she shouldn't be so quick to assume her being a woman will be a major factor. Here now with reaction is Lauren Leader-Chivee, co-founder and CEO of nonpartisan organization All In Together. Thanks for being with us.
Thanks for having me.
Do you think women will play a pivotal role in this 2016 presidential election?
Well, first of all, I think it's important to recognize that women have played a pivotal role in every election since 1980. In fact, they have turned every major election since 1980, and that's a fact that I think most of us don't appreciate. Women are more likely to be registered to vote, and they're frankly more likely to show up at the polls than almost any other group. They're the vast majority of the electorate. So regardless,
with a woman as the Democratic nominee, we're presuming here, but
yeah.
It looks pretty clear. Does it make a difference?
You know, it's a very interesting question. I think there are a lot of women for whom it absolutely does make a difference. You know, it's a very different time even than it was in 2008. You know, 2 years ago, Sheryl Sandberg published Lean In. It sold 1.6 million copies. I think we're at a point in sort of the consciousness of American women across the spectrum that they'd like to see the remaining barriers broken, that we have not made all the strides politically and professionally that we'd like to make. So I think we will see women's issues become a much more central theme in this campaign.
Right.
My guess is that Hillary is going to be much more comfortable talking about those. She's going to embrace her ceiling breaker persona much more than she did in 2008.
I want to throw a couple of polls up on the screen and have you react to the first.
Sure.
Is a Fox News poll asks the question, will a woman automatically vote for Clinton because she is a woman?
Yeah.
And look at this. It's wrong to assume that. 80%.
Yeah.
Now, of course, it doesn't break it down male or female,
Right.
and neither does the Pew Research poll,
Yeah.
which we'll put up next. There it is. If a candidate was a woman, more likely, less likely, 71%
Yeah.
say it wouldn't matter. What do you think?
I mean, I'm surprised by that. I think, you know, and national polls can be a little deceptive because, as we know, you know, there are some very influential sort of segments of the voting bloc that not only turn up but also, frankly, make incredible contributions financially to campaigns, and that increasingly is a big part of the equation. I do think women are going to be a force in terms of voicing their perspectives in this campaign. And by the way, it's important to remember Hillary may not be the only female candidate. As
That's
you all
right.
know,
We were just interviewing Carly
Yeah.
Fiorina
Yeah.
on Fox News just an hour ago. You never know.
Yeah, and look, my view is that this is all great for our democracy, that the more we can make a discussion about the remaining challenges and opportunities for American women a central part of the campaign. I think, you know, Democrats have historically really owned that conversation. I think you're going to see a lot more from Republicans on this. I spend a lot of time with Republican women, and I think, you know, their view is certainly that they are as passionate about seeing barriers broken. They just have a different approach to answering how to solve those questions.
Well, what are women passionate about, women's issues that any candidate might want to address?
Well, first of all, I think we're starting to realize that there may not be any such thing as women's issues anymore. And that is a real change. In other words, women are the majority of the decision makers now on financial decisions, on health care, on a whole range of issues. They're increasingly the breadwinners in their family. And so I think you're seeing that American women really do care about a whole range of issues, from, you know, health care to child care to national security. Clearly, issues like the pay gap do continue to be a central issue, especially for working women. And everywhere I go, it never ceases to come up. It gets raised in every forum I speak at. Why does there continue to be this persistent pay gap? I think there are a lot of complicated reasons and some very complicated questions about how to address it. But
Other than pay gap, what else?
I do think child care will continue to be an issue. You know, working women's issues are significant. We have more women in the workforce today than any time in American history. They are increasingly the breadwinners, but they are still shouldering the majority of the family responsibilities.
How about early childhood education?
I mean, I think it's clearly a hot topic. And in fact, part of where we see women engaging the most with the political process is around school boards and engaging around issues like the Common Core. It's clearly something that motivates women. One thing I'll just say is that I do think it's important to remember that there are a huge percentage of American women, especially among college-educated women, who don't have kids. And I do think it's going to be important for candidates on both sides to recognize women are not a homogenous block. They're incredibly diverse and have very diverse lives. So anything that kind of creates this sort of big mass generalizations about American women, I think is going to be tough.
Yeah. Well, the three women in my family are always pointing out to me that I shouldn't assume and generalize when it comes to gender. So thank you, Lauren Leader-Chivee.
My pleasure.
Good to see you.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Check out foxnews.com for more on the 2016 race. I'm Greg Jarrett. Thanks for watching.